I opened my front door expecting a package. Two little boys stood on my porch instead, suitcases at their feet, eyes red from crying. I recognized my nephews immediately, but their mother was nowhere in sight. Just a note taped to the older one's jacket. My sister Crystal had dumped her own children on my doorstep like unwanted furniture. Before we continue, please tell us where you're watching from so we know how far our stories reach, and subscribe to the channel to help us grow. The note was 3 sentences long. Taking a trip. Need you to watch them. Be back in a few weeks. No please. No thank you. No phone call warning me this was coming. Just my sister doing what she always did, taking whatever she wanted and leaving everyone else to clean up her mess. Isaiah, the 8-year-old, wouldn't look at me. Jordan, only 5, clutched a stuffed dinosaur and kept asking when his mama was coming back. I pulled them inside, fed them, put them to bed in my guest room. Then I called Crystal 17 times. Every call went straight to voicemail. I'd been the family disappointment for as long as I could remember. The one who left Chicago for Atlanta, who chose career over marriage, who didn't come running every time Mama called. Crystal was the golden child. Beautiful, charming, could do no wrong in Mama's eyes. Even when she dropped out of college, even when she had 2 babies with Vincent Carter and never married him, even when Vincent left because Crystal couldn't stop partying. But I'd built a good life. I was a senior project manager at a tech firm. I had my own house. I'd worked hard for everything I had. And now Crystal wanted to use me like a free babysitter while she did God knows what. 3 days passed. No word from Crystal. The boys settled in like refugees. Isaiah barely spoke. Jordan cried every night. I took time off work, bought them clothes, enrolled them in a nearby school, called Crystal 40 more times. Nothing. On day 4, I got a text. Finally. Thanks for helping out, sis. Knew I could count on you. That was it. No explanation, no return date, no apology. I called Mama, told her what Crystal had done, expected support, maybe even outrage. Well, Gabby, you don't have children of your own, Mama said. Her voice had that tone, the one that said I was being difficult. Crystal needed a break. You know how hard single motherhood is. You could be more understanding. My jaw dropped. She abandoned her kids, Mama. On my doorstep. No warning, no conversation, nothing. Don't be so dramatic. She's just taking a little vacation. The boys are fine with you. Did she tell you where she went? Silence. Then, Europe, I think. She met someone. Europe. My sister flew to Europe to be with some man and left her children behind like luggage, and Mama saw nothing wrong with it. I hung up, stared at my phone, realized I was truly on my own. 2 weeks became 3. I called Vincent, Crystal's ex, the boy's father. He answered on the 5th ring. What? Your sons are living with me. Crystal dropped them off and disappeared. That's your problem, Gabrielle. I pay my child support. I ain't equipped to handle kids full time. They're your kids. And they're with family. You got it handled. He hung up. I sat in my living room. Watched Isaiah help Jordan with his homework. These boys deserved better. Better than Crystal. Better than Vincent. Better than a family that treated children like inconveniences. That's when I made my decision. If Crystal wasn't coming back anytime soon, I'd call Child Protective Services. Get this situation documented. Protect these boys properly. I called CPS the next morning. Explained everything. A caseworker named Denise Reynolds came out that afternoon. She interviewed the boys, took photos of my home, asked 100 questions. Ms. Harris, you're doing an amazing thing here, Denise said. She had kind eyes, a gentle voice. But we need to locate their mother. Do you have any way to contact her? Just her cell. She doesn't answer. We'll need to pursue this officially. Child abandonment is serious. I nodded. Good. Denise left. I felt better, like I was finally doing the right thing. Then my phone rang. Crystal. What the hell, Gabby? She was screaming. You called CPS on me? On your own sister? You abandoned your children. I left them with family. That's not abandonment. For how long, Crystal? When are you coming back? When I'm ready. You had no right. I had every right. Those boys needed someone to stand up for them. Crystal's voice went cold, real cold. You just made the biggest mistake of your life. She hung up. I should have known right then. Should have recognized the threat. But I was too angry to be scared. The next day, my boss called me into his office. Charles Freeman was a good man. Fair. Respected me. We'd worked together for 6 years. Gabrielle, I received a disturbing phone call this morning. His face was serious, concerned. From a woman claiming to be your sister. My stomach dropped. She said you've been having some kind of mental health crisis, that you've kidnapped her children, that you've been acting erratically and she's worried about your stability. The room tilted. That's a lie. All of it. She was very convincing, very upset. She said she's been trying to get her boys back, but you won't let her near them. I couldn't breathe. Crystal was destroying me, attacking my job, my reputation, everything I'd built. Charles, my sister abandoned those kids on my doorstep 3 weeks ago. I have text messages. I called CPS because she disappeared. This is retaliation. He studied my face. I believe you, Gabrielle. But she threatened to file complaints with HR. To claim you're unstable. To make noise. So what are you saying? I'm saying be careful. Document everything. Protect yourself. Because your sister sounds dangerous. He was right. But that wasn't even the worst part. The worst part came that night when Crystal sent me a video. A recording she'd made. Her crying. Talking to the camera. My sister won't let me see my babies. I made one mistake. Asked her to watch them while I took a short trip. And now she's trying to steal them. She's always been jealous of me. Always wanted what I had. And now she's using my children to hurt me. The acting was perfect. She looked like a devastated mother. Not the selfish woman who'd abandoned her kids for a European vacation with some man she barely knew. The text under the video read, "Send this to your boss, and I'll send it to everyone. Your job. Your friends. Everyone. Back off CPS or I'll destroy you." I sat there shaking. Crystal had always been manipulative. But this was different. This was blackmail. This was war. Jordan walked into the living room. "Auntie Gabby, can you help me with my bath?" I looked at his little face. Innocent. Trusting. He'd started calling me Auntie Gabby. Started smiling again. Isaiah was doing better too. Opening up. Laughing. They felt safe here. I wasn't backing down. Not for Crystal's threats. Not for anything. I called my doctor the next morning. Got a full mental health evaluation. Paid for it myself. Got the documentation in writing. Perfect bill of health. Stable. Competent. Then I sent it to Charles at work. Covered my bases. Then I did something smarter. I started recording every call Crystal made. Every text. Every threat. Building a case. Crystal called again 2 days later. "You think you're so smart, don't you?" "I think you abandoned your kids and now you're trying to cover it up." "Those are my kids, Gabby. Mine. You were never supposed to be anything but a temporary babysitter." "Then come get them." "I will, when I'm ready, and when I do, you'll never see them again. That's a promise." I had it all recorded. Every word. But what I said next was bad. Really bad. What I didn't know then would change everything. Because while I was building my case against Crystal, she was building something much worse. Something that would bring violence to my doorstep and turn my whole life into a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. 4 months passed. 4 months of Crystal calling to threaten me. 4 months of me recording every word. 4 months of those boys becoming mine in every way that mattered. Isaiah made the honor roll. Jordan stopped asking when his mama was coming back. They called me Auntie Gabby without hesitation now. We were a family. I thought I was winning. I thought Crystal was all talk. That her threats were empty. Just noise from a woman who knew she'd messed up and was too proud to admit it. I was wrong. So incredibly wrong. CPS moved forward with their investigation. Denise became a regular visitor. She saw how the boys thrived with me, saw their grades, their happiness, their stability. She started talking about emergency custody, about making this arrangement official while they searched for Crystal. She's not in Europe anymore, Denise told me during one visit. We tracked her down. She's back in Chicago. Living with your mother. My blood ran cold. She's been back? For how long? 2 months. 2 months. Crystal had been 20 minutes away and never once came to see her children. Never once knocked on my door. She was with Mama, probably crying about how I'd stolen her babies, probably playing victim while Mama fed her and gave her money and told her everything would be okay. I tried calling Mama. She wouldn't answer. I drove to her house on the south side, banged on the door. No one came. But I saw the curtain move, saw someone peek out. They were both in there, hiding from me, like I was the problem. Isaiah asked about his grandma one night. Does Nana know we're here? She knows, baby. Why doesn't she visit? I had no answer for that. How do you tell a child that his grandmother chose his mother's lies over his truth? That family doesn't always mean loyalty. Work became my escape. Charles had my back, kept Crystal's complaints from going anywhere. But the stress was wearing on me. I started seeing a therapist, not because I needed one, but because I knew this fight was far from over. I needed to stay sharp, stay healthy, stay ready. Then Vincent resurfaced, called me out of nowhere. I hear Crystal's making trouble, he said. His voice was different, concerned maybe. She's been making trouble for months. Look, I know I haven't been there for Isaiah and Jordan. That's on me. But Crystal's talking crazy, saying she's going to get those boys back no matter what it takes, saying you've turned them against her. I haven't turned them against anyone. She abandoned them. I know she did. But Gabby, be careful. Crystal's got this new man. He's bad news, real bad news. Does things for money, if you know what I mean. A chill ran through me. What kind of things? The kind of things that make problems disappear. That's all I'm saying. Watch your back. He hung up before I could ask more questions. That night, I couldn't sleep. Kept thinking about Vincent's warning, about Crystal's threats, about the video she'd made, about how far she might actually go. But that wasn't even the scariest part. The scariest part was realizing Crystal had been planning this for months. Every threat, every call, every move calculated. And I'd walked right into her trap thinking I was the smart one. I installed security cameras around my house. Front door, back door, driveway. If Crystal was coming for these boys, I'd have proof. I'd have evidence. The lawyer I hired, Jerome Bradley, said documentation was everything. Keep recording those calls, Jerome told me. Keep those text messages. Keep everything. When we go to court for custody, we need to show a pattern of abandonment and harassment. What if she tries something before we get to court? Like what? I told him about Vincent's warning, about the new man, about Crystal's escalating threats. Jerome's face went serious. File for a restraining order. Today. I did. Went straight to the courthouse, filed the paperwork, detailed everything. The abandonment, the threats, the blackmail attempts. The judge granted a temporary order. Crystal couldn't come within 500 feet of me or the boys. I thought that would stop her, thought legal consequences would make her think twice. I was so naive, because Crystal didn't care about restraining orders. Didn't care about laws. She cared about winning, about not being embarrassed, about not looking like the bad mother she actually was. 2 weeks later, I got a call from Mama, finally, after months of silence. "Gabrielle," her voice was tight, angry. "You got a restraining order against your own sister?" "I did." "How could you? That's family." "Family doesn't abandon their children, Mama. Family doesn't blackmail. Family doesn't threaten. Crystal made a mistake. She knows that. She's ready to be a mother again. But you won't let her near those boys. She's had 4 months to be a mother. She chose not to. You're poisoning those children against her." I laughed. Couldn't help it. "I don't have to poison them, Mama. They remember." Isaiah remembers his mama dropping him on a porch and disappearing. Jordan remembers crying himself to sleep asking for her. They remember. I don't need to say a word. "You always thought you were better than us," Mama hissed. "Moving to Atlanta, getting your fancy job, looking down on your family." "I'm not looking down on anyone. I'm protecting 2 little boys." "You're stealing your sister's children." "Then why didn't she come get them? She's been back for 2 months, Mama. 2 months. Living in your house 20 minutes away, and she never once came for her kids." Silence. "That's what I thought," I said. Then I hung up. That conversation hurt. Hurt worse than Crystal's threats. Because Mama was supposed to be different. Supposed to see through Crystal's lies. Supposed to protect her grandsons. But she chose Crystal. Always chose Crystal. Even when Crystal was dead wrong. The boys were doing so well. Isaiah joined the chess club at school. Jordan made friends in kindergarten. We had routines. Movie nights, Sunday pancakes, homework at the kitchen table. They felt like mine. Like the children I'd never had. Like the family I'd always wanted. Denise from CPS recommended I file for emergency custody. The abandonment is clear. The father's not involved. The mothers made no effort to reunify. You're the stable placement. Let's make it official. Jerome filed the papers. We had a court date set for 6 weeks out. Everything was falling into place. Then one Thursday night, everything fell apart. I was in the kitchen washing dishes. The boys were upstairs getting ready for bed. I heard the back door crash open. Glass shattering. Heavy footsteps. I grabbed my phone, dialed 911. But before I could speak, a hand ripped it from my grip. A man stood in my kitchen, big, muscular, mean-looking. Raymond, I'd later learn his name was. Crystal's new boyfriend, the one Vincent warned me about. "Where are they?" he growled. "Get out of my house!" He grabbed my arm, twisted it. Pain shot through my shoulder. "The kids! Where?" I screamed. Fought. But he was too strong. He dragged me toward the stairs. That's when I saw her. Crystal, standing in my doorway, watching. Not stopping him, just watching with cold eyes. "Upstairs," she said. "Their rooms are upstairs." Raymond hauled me up the stairs. I was kicking, screaming, trying to warn the boys. Isaiah's door flew open. His eyes went wide with terror. "Mama?" Crystal pushed past us, grabbed Isaiah. "Come on, baby, we're going home." "I don't want to." Isaiah pulled away. "I want to stay with Auntie Gabby," Crystal slapped him. Right across the face, her own son. "You'll do what I say." Jordan started crying in his room. Raymond threw me against the wall. My head cracked against the plaster. The room spun. I tasted blood. "Stop!" I tried to get up, tried to reach the boys. Raymond's fist connected with my ribs. I went down, couldn't breathe, couldn't move. Through blurred vision, I saw Crystal dragging both boys down the stairs, saw them crying, screaming for me, saw Raymond kick me one more time before following them out. Then silence. I lay on my floor, bleeding, broken, alone. My security cameras had caught everything, every second, every moment. But what good was evidence when those babies were gone? I woke up in a hospital bed. Everything hurt. 3 broken ribs, concussion, bruised kidney, dislocated shoulder. The doctor said I was lucky. Lucky. Like getting beaten in my own home was some kind of blessing. The police came while I was still hooked to machines. I told them everything. Showed them the security footage on my phone. Watched their faces change as they saw Raymond throw me against the wall. Saw Crystal slap her own son. Saw them drag those boys out screaming. "We've issued warrants," the detective said. His name was Martinez. "Burglary, assault, kidnapping, battery. We'll find them. Find them fast. Those boys aren't safe." They found Crystal 6 hours later. At Mama's house. Where else would she go? The boys were there too, terrified, hungry. Jordan had wet himself and no one had changed his clothes. Crystal was arrested. So was Raymond. The charges were serious, real serious. But Crystal made bail within 24 hours. Mama paid it. $10,000 she probably didn't have. All to save her precious baby girl. Raymond wasn't so lucky. His record was long, violent. The judge denied bail, said he was a danger to the community, a danger to me. He'd be sitting in county jail until trial. Jerome met me at the hospital. "This changes everything. We're not just fighting for custody anymore. We're talking criminal charges. Real prison time for both of them." "Good. Gabrielle, I need you to understand something. This is going to get ugly. Crystal's going to fight. Your mother's going to testify for her. Vincent might get involved. The next 2 years of your life are going to be hell. I don't care. Those boys deserve better." He nodded, respect in his eyes. "Then let's go to war." I was released from the hospital 3 days later, went home to an empty house. Broken back door, blood on my hallway floor, silence where there should have been children's laughter. I sat on my couch and cried for the first time since this whole nightmare started. But I didn't cry for long. Couldn't afford to. Had work to do. The custody hearing was moved up. Emergency status. The judge looked at my security footage, looked at my medical records, looked at Crystal sitting in the courtroom like she was the victim. "Ms. Crystal Harris," Judge Morrison said. She was a black woman, older, stern. "You broke into your sister's home?" "I was getting my children back. She wouldn't let me see them. There was a restraining order in place." "An unfair restraining order. She poisoned my babies against me." The judge looked at Jerome. "Does the petitioner have evidence to the contrary?" Jerome played the recordings. Every call, every threat, every word of blackmail. Played Crystal's own voice saying she'd come for the boys no matter what it takes. Played her saying I'd never see them again. Crystal's lawyer objected. Said the recordings were obtained illegally. Judge Morrison overruled. Said party consent laws in Georgia allowed it. Then Jerome played something I didn't know he had. A recording from Isaiah. My nephew. Sitting with Denise from CPS, telling his story. "Mama left us on Auntie Gabby's porch. She said she'd be back soon, but she didn't come back. We waited and waited. Jordan cried every night. Then Auntie Gabby took care of us. She was nice. She helped with homework. She made us feel safe. Then Mama came with that scary man. He hurt Auntie Gabby. Mama hit me. I don't want to go back to Mama. Please don't make us go back." The courtroom went silent. Crystal's face crumpled. Started crying. Playing the victim again. "I made a mistake," she sobbed. "One mistake! I'm their mother! They belong with me!" Judge Morrison wasn't buying it. Emergency custody is granted to Gabrielle Harris pending full trial. Visitation for Crystal Harris is denied until the criminal proceedings are resolved. Next court date is set for 6 months from now. Crystal screamed. Screamed. Had to be removed from the courtroom by bailiffs. Mama left crying. Didn't even look at me. I got the boys back that afternoon. They ran to me, held me so tight my broken ribs screamed in pain. I didn't care. They were home. They were safe. That's all that mattered. But the fight was far from over. Raymond's trial came first, 8 months after the attack. I had to testify, had to sit in that courtroom and relive every moment while he stared at me with dead eyes. The prosecutor played my security footage, showed the jury Raymond throwing me against the wall, kicking me while I was down, dragging me by my hair. His lawyer tried to claim he was just helping Crystal get her kids back, that he didn't know about the restraining order, that it wasn't his fault things got violent. The jury didn't believe him, convicted on all counts, aggravated assault, burglary, kidnapping, battery. The judge sentenced him to 25 years, called him a danger to society, said he'd shown no remorse. Crystal wasn't in the courtroom that day, didn't come to support the man she'd brought into my home, the man she'd sicked on me. She'd moved on already, found a new man, a new excuse, a new victim to manipulate. The custody trial took another year. 2 years total from the night Raymond broke down my door. 2 years of legal battles, of testimony, of Crystal's lawyers painting me as the villain. They brought Vincent in, tried to make him look like a concerned father. He sat on that stand in a new suit, said he wanted custody, said he was ready to be a real dad now. Jerome destroyed him, pulled his child support records, showed he'd missed 18 payments in the last 3 years, showed he'd never visited the boys once in the 2 years they'd been with me, never called, never sent a birthday card, nothing. "You want custody now?" Jerome asked him. After 2 years of silence, "I was giving Gabrielle space to—" "You were giving yourself space from responsibility. No further questions." Vincent left the courthouse, and I never saw him again. Then Mama took the stand. My own mother. Testifying for Crystal. I braced myself for the lies, for her to paint me as the jealous sister who stole her babies. Crystal's lawyer asked the questions. "Ms. Harris, you've known both your daughters their entire lives. Who would be the better mother for these boys?" Mama looked at Crystal, looked at me. Something shifted in her face. "I came here to support Crystal," Mama said slowly. "She's my daughter. I love her. But I can't lie under oath. I can't sit here and pretend I don't see the truth." Crystal's eyes went wide. "Mama." Crystal abandoned those boys. Left them on Gabrielle's doorstep and flew to Europe with some man she barely knew. I knew where she was. I helped her hide. I paid her bills while she partied. And Gabrielle took those boys in, fed them, clothed them, loved them, turned them into good students, good kids, happy kids. The courtroom was silent. "I've been a bad mother to Gabrielle her whole life," Mama continued, tears streaming down her face. "Always chose Crystal, always made excuses for her, pushed Gabrielle away because she didn't need me the way Crystal did. But that was wrong. So wrong. Those boys belong with Gabrielle. She's the only real mother they've ever known." Crystal jumped up, started screaming, called Mama a traitor, called me a thief, had to be removed again, 3rd time in 2 years. The judge made her ruling right there. Full custody to me. Supervised visitation only for Crystal, twice a month, 2 hours, at a facility, with a social worker present. Crystal never showed up for a single visit, not one. Disappeared back into her life, back into her drama, back into whatever hole she'd crawled out of. I won. I got my boys. But here's what nobody tells you about winning. Here's the twist that changed everything. 3 months after the custody ruling, Mama showed up at my house, first time in 3 years. She looked older, tired, broken. "Can we talk?" she asked. I let her in, made coffee, sat across from her at my kitchen table, waited. "I've been going to therapy," she said. "Trying to understand why I failed you, why I always chose Crystal. The therapist said I enabled her because I was afraid of losing her, but in protecting her, I lost you. And I lost myself." "Mama, let me finish, please." I testified for you because I finally saw the truth. But it cost me everything. Crystal won't speak to me. Calls me a traitor. Blocked my number. I haven't seen her in months. I destroyed my relationship with one daughter to save my grandsons, and I don't regret it. But it hurts. God, it hurts. She was crying, real tears, the kind you can't fake. I can't give you back the years I wasted on Crystal, Mama said. Can't undo the times I chose her over you. Can't fix being a terrible mother. But I want to try. I want to know my grandsons. Want to be the grandmother they deserve. If you'll let me. I looked at this woman. This flawed, broken, complicated woman who'd hurt me my entire life. Who'd finally done the right thing when it mattered most. Who'd lost one daughter to save two grandsons. Isaiah walked into the kitchen. Auntie Gabby, is this... This is your Nana, I said. Your grandmother. Mama's face lit up. Jordan came running down the stairs. Both boys looked at her with curious eyes. No memory of abandonment from her. Just curiosity. Just openness. Can you stay for dinner, Nana? Jordan asked. Mama looked at me. Hope in her eyes. A question. I nodded. She can stay. We didn't fix everything that night. Didn't erase the past. Didn't become the perfect family. But we started building something new, something honest, something better. Crystal never came back. Heard through the grapevine she moved to California. New man, new life, new kids to eventually abandon, probably. I don't think about her much anymore. Don't hate her. Don't miss her. Just feel sorry for her. Sorry she'll never know what she lost. Never know the amazing young men her sons are becoming. Isaiah's 13 now. Jordan's 10. They call me Mom, not Auntie Gabby. Just Mom. It happened naturally, gradually, beautifully. We're a family. The family I never thought I'd have. The family those boys deserved all along. I carry scars from that night. Physical ones on my shoulder. Emotional ones in my heart. Sometimes I still have nightmares. Still wake up hearing glass shatter. Still feel Raymond's fist connecting with my ribs. But then I hear my boys laughing in the next room. Hear them call for me. And I remember why I fought. Remember what I won. The cost was high. My relationship with Mama will never be what it could have been. My sister is gone forever. My career took hits I never fully recovered from. I turned down promotions, turned down opportunities, chose those boys over everything else, and I'd do it again, every single time, because some things are worth fighting for. Some wars are worth the scars. And those two beautiful boys, they were worth every broken bone, every tear, every sleepless night, every penny spent on lawyers, every moment of pain. They were worth everything. Thank you for staying until the end. Please help us reach our goal by subscribing to the channel. What did you think of this story? Let us know in the comments.